The story opens on a sun-drenched day, introducing us to a close-knit quartet of friends who seem to have the world at their feet. We see Morgan, her boyfriend Chris, her sister Jenny, and Jenny's boyfriend Jonah all piled into a car, laughing and heading towards a beach party. But beneath the laughter, secrets are already taking root. During a brief pit stop at a gas station, while Jonah heads inside to buy drinks for the group, Morgan seizes a fleeting moment of privacy. With her heart racing, she slips away to secretly purchase a pregnancy test, rushing to the bathroom to take it before anyone notices her absence. Later, the group settles on the sand, but the vibes shift. Chris, in a drunken haze, offers Morgan a drink. When she refuses, instead of understanding, he casually insults her, calling her boring in front of everyone, before abandoning her to go party with Jenny and their other friends. Left behind in the quiet aftermath, Jonah sits with Morgan. He opens up, confessing something that has been weighing on him. He feels like he and Jenny are complete opposites, a mismatch that he also sees in Morgan and Chris's relationship. Seeing the hurt in Morgan's eyes from Chris's comment, Jonah speaks softly, assuring her that Chris is just drunk and that she is far from boring. In that moment, the air changes. A look of deep, undeniable attraction passes between them, a what-if moment suspended in time. But reality comes crashing back when Morgan snaps out of the trance and drops a bombshell. She is pregnant with Chris's baby.
Flash forward 17 years. The wild days of youth are gone, replaced by the quiet routine of adulthood. We find Morgan standing in her home, staring out the window, lost in introspection on her birthday. The silence is broken by the arrival of her sister Jenny and Jonah. We learn that life took its course. Jenny and Jonah married and now have a toddler named Elijah. They have just returned from traveling to settle down in the city, reuniting the family. Chris is there too, having married Morgan, and together they raised a daughter, now 17-year-old Clara. Speaking of Clara, we cut to her driving home, the rebellious teenager ignoring her mother's call to blast music and sing at the top of her lungs. On the road, she spots a familiar face, Miller, a classmate, standing alone by the highway. She pulls over to offer him a ride, but Miller has a strange, almost absurd request. He needs help moving a heavy, city limits road sign. Even though Clara is already late for her mom's birthday party, her curiosity wins out, and she gets out to help. As they struggle with the sign, Miller explains the heartwarming logic behind his vandalism. His grandfather is sick, housebound, and relies on pizza delivery for dinner since Miller works long hours. The problem? Their house is just barely outside the delivery zone. So, every single day, Miller painstakingly moves the sign a few feet to trick the delivery drivers into thinking the house is within city limits, ensuring his grandpa gets fed. It's a sweet, selfless act that charms Clara instantly. During the effort, Clara's flip-flop snaps, and Miller immediately insists on buying her a new pair. Back in the car, the conversation flows effortlessly. Miller guesses that Clara has a secret passion for theater acting. She admits it, but reveals a family conflict. Her mother Morgan forbids it, convinced drama school is the wrong path. When Clara asks about Miller's dreams, he laughs. His grandfather actually wants him to go to art school, the very dream Clara is denied. The connection is palpable, but it hits a snag when Miller's girlfriend calls. He answers and lies, telling her a guy friend is driving him home. Clara falls silent, feeling the sting of being hidden, realizing he doesn't want his girlfriend to know he's with a girl. They arrive at Miller's house, and he invites her in to pay her back for the shoe. Inside, they find his grandfather, Hank, pretending to be asleep to avoid conversation. In Miller's room, Clara is stunned to find walls covered in movie posters. He's a total film geek. As they leave, Grandpa Hank miraculously wakes up and charms Clara with embarrassing childhood stories about Miller, making her laugh while Miller blushes. Clara leaves, feeling a spark, and immediately calls her Aunt Jenny. The two share a bond closer than mother and daughter. Clara tells Jenny everything about the boy in the sign. Clara picks up her best friend Lexi and finally heads to the birthday party. The house is full of celebration, but in the kitchen, old wounds are reopening. Jonah follows Morgan inside, sensing her melancholy. He asks if she's upset about him marrying her sister. Morgan shakes her head. It's not the present that hurts, but the past. She confronts him about how he vanished after high school graduation, ghosting her despite their friendship. She felt abandoned. Jonah tries to defend himself, insisting he always cared, and leaves her with a gift of her favorite candy. a small gesture that speaks volumes. The next morning, the routine begins like any other day. Jenny drops little Elijah off with Morgan, Chris heads to work, and Clara goes to school. But the high school drama is already heating up. Clara learns that Miller's girlfriend broke up with him, accusing him of cheating with Clara. Clara laughs it off as ridiculous, but when she sees Miller, he gives her the cold shoulder, ignoring her completely to avoid more trouble. Clara texts Jenny for advice, suspecting Miller wants his ex back. Jenny's reply is cryptic and haunting. Don't be the other woman. Then, the phone rings, the call that shatters their world. Morgan is told Chris has been in a severe car accident. She rushes to the hospital, her mind racing, only to run into Jonah in the hallway. He's been called too, because Jenny was also in an accident. The realization hits them both with the force of a physical blow. Chris and Jenny were in the same crash, and neither of them survived.
While Clara collapses in grief upon hearing the news, a darker mystery begins to unravel for the adults. In the sterile hospital waiting room, Jonah reveals the impossible truth to Morgan. Jenny and Chris were found in Jenny's car, but Chris was the one driving. Even worse, Jenny's boss confirmed she was still on maternity leave, meaning she had lied to everyone about going to work that morning. Jonah looks at Morgan, the implication hanging heavy in the air. They were having an affair. Morgan, in denial, refuses to believe it without concrete proof. The funeral is a blur of black clothes and tears. A devastated Clara steps outside to breathe, looking at the last text she sent Jenny, weeping for the aunt who understood her better than anyone. Miller sits beside her, offering silent comfort. Desperate to escape the suffocating sadness, she asks him to drive her away. On the road, Clara tries to rebel against her pain. She asks Miller to buy her cigarettes. She smokes for the first time, only to find it doesn't numb the pain at all. Meanwhile, Morgan panics when she can't find her daughter. She uses a tracking app, hunts Clara down, and drags her home, furious to find her with a boy and smelling of smoke. That night, Jonah is consumed by the need for answers. He visits Morgan, demanding they find Chris's car to prove the affair. They track the vehicle's GPS to a location that makes Morgan's stomach turn. It's parked in front of a secluded small hotel, the exact spot Chris used to take Morgan for romantic getaways. Inside the wreckage of the car, Jonah finds the smoking gun, Jenny's handbag, containing a piece of lingerie. The truth is undeniable. Her husband and her sister were lovers. Morgan snaps. She screams, hitting the wrecked car with her bare hands, letting out a lifetime of betrayal. But amidst the rage, she makes a mother's choice. Clara must never know this dirty truth. The revelation destroys the survivors in different ways. Jonah, convinced that baby Elijah isn't his biological son because the boy shares Chris's distinctive smile, abandons the child with Morgan and disappears. Morgan falls into a deep depression. She stops cleaning, stops changing her clothes, and starts buying alcohol to drown her sorrows. It is Clara, the teenager, who has to become the adult. She finds her mother drunk and neglectful. Furious, Clara marches over to Jonah's house. She finds him living in filth, wallowing in self-pity. She shouts at him, demanding he take responsibility for the innocent child waiting for him. She starts cleaning his house herself, shaming him into action. Her words pierce through his grief. Jonah finally stands up, goes to Morgan's house, holds the baby he raised, and apologizes. As the adults struggle, Clara finds solace with Miller. They meet at a cafe, and he takes her to his world. They move the road sign again, a ritual of normalcy, and feed his grandfather's farm animals. Miller opens up about his own trauma. His mother died when he was young, and he has been caring for his dying grandfather ever since. Under the moonlight, Miller confesses that he loves Clara, that she visits his dreams. They share a tender moment, finally finding light in the darkness.
Back at the house, a different kind of romance is rekindling. Jonah admits to Morgan that he loved her all through high school. They listen to old music, reminiscing about a moment in a swimming pool years ago where they almost crossed the line. Jonah looks her in the eyes and says they made a mistake back then, implying they were the ones who should have married. Morgan is moved, ready to accept this second chance, but Clara walks in, interrupting the intimacy and bringing the tension back. To scrub the memory of Chris from her life, Morgan decides to renovate the house. Jonah helps her. During the work, they find a stash of love letters from Jenny to Chris. The pain resurfaces. Morgan points to a painting on the wall, one Jenny bought, claiming it suited Chris's taste. Realizing the painting was a symbol of their affair, Morgan rips it down. She and Jonah destroy it together, laughing hysterically as they tear the canvas apart, a symbolic purging of the betrayal. Jonah tells Morgan he regrets every day he spent without her. Morgan admits she had feelings too, but she pulls back. Her daughter, Clara, is her priority now.
Secrets continue to pile up. Clara gets accepted into drama school but hides the letter from her mother, fearing her disapproval. One day, Jonah visits Morgan and the chemistry takes over. They share an intimate moment, but the door opens. Clara walks in and sees her mother with her uncle. Horrified and disgusted, she runs to her room and locks herself in. She texts Miller, begging him to come over. He sneaks in and she cries on his shoulder, telling him about her mother's betrayal. Miller stays to comfort her, innocently falling asleep beside her, fully clothed. The next morning, Morgan finds them sleeping together and, assuming the worst, kicks Miller out in a rage. The tension explodes on Clara's birthday dinner. Clara invites Miller. Morgan invites Jonah. It's a recipe for disaster. Over dinner, Clara decides to hurt her mother the way she feels hurt. She loudly announces she was accepted to drama school, but the plan backfires. Miller is blindsided. He didn't know she was planning to leave. He calls her selfish for keeping secrets and storms out, leaving Clara alone. The next day, the walls finally come down. Clara breaks down in tears, confessing to her mother that she feels guilty for the accident. She reveals she was texting Jenny at the exact moment of the crash. Morgan realizes she can't let her daughter carry that burden. She sits Clara down and tells her the whole ugly truth. Chris was driving, not Jenny, and they were in love. The truth is painful, but it frees them. Mother and daughter cry, hug, and agree to start a fresh page. No more secrets. Clara rushes to apologize to Miller and they reconcile. A month later, Miller throws a surprise party for Clara. Everyone is there: Morgan, Jonah, Hank, and friends. Miller has big news. He also got into drama school, and thanks to a surprise inheritance from his grandfather, he can afford to go with her. He plays a touching video montage he made, showing he had been watching her plays from the shadows for years, waiting for the courage to talk to her. It's the ultimate romantic gesture. Morgan, seeing how happy her daughter is and how talented she truly is, finally gives her blessing for drama school. The movie ends on a perfect note of hope. Miller and Clara, laughing and in love, move the city limits sign one last time, this time dragging it to include Miller's house, bringing their future just a little bit closer to home.